So who's using GNSS? A lot of people. Who? That's great. Any kind of GNSS is great. Septentrio is, of course, better, but I'll try to keep the bias as limited as possible. GNSS is the technology that provides you with both the position and the time on Earth, any 3D position, because you're nothing with a position if you cannot place it in time. Overall, the satellite signals that we use are coming from MEO, so medium Earth orbit, which is 20,000 kilometers up north, or in Imperial, or that is, I think, 12.5 thousand miles up in the sky. Once they arrive here, they are very faint and very vulnerable. So that's what I'm going to talk about today is how do we overcome these kind of things? Because the signals are very faint, very vulnerable. How do we as a manufacturer of GNSS modules actually compete with these kind of things? The first thing is we need to notice that there is something happening with the signal. Then we can identify that or highlight it to the customer or to our customer bases. And the third one, it's a more tricky one, is actually doing or working with interfered signals. I tried to look a bit back in the history of PX4 when satellite-based navigation was added. I couldn't find a dedicated point, so I will just assume that it's always been there in any kind of way or form. But throughout years, it has evolved. More brand compatibility was made. More features were added, and where we are now is quite a stable product within the PX4 driver development, both on user side as on platform side. But we are continuously developing all of these kind of things. The signals arriving at Earth are at the 10th of a femtowatt, so that is very faint, and they are very prone to interference. Within our industry, we identify this as a few kinds or few big groups of interference. Interference can, one, be unintentional, external things like 4G networks, but also from your platform itself, where very good shielding of other systems, so a camera on your UAV platform, but it can be as simple as just SD card logging that, if it's not shielded very well, will interfere with the GNSS bands that we are working with. That is the unintentional side. Now, in the more recent times, we also see a lot of intentional interference. But depending on if it's unintentional or intentional, we still classify them as one-side jamming, which is basically the outcome that you want is to just fully disregard any kind of signals that we as a system need to work from. On the other side, we have spoofing. That looks a bit more like this, is trying to mimic the signals. Our signals are fully transparent, are fully defined by the ICD, so the signal definition is fully available, so we can mimic them as well. Where spoofing comes into place is where you try to send true GNSS signals, but the outcome is, as you can see here, is not your true position, is the position or the calculated output of your system. Who has support for it? Both on jamming and spoofing, we see a lot of more interest, definitely in the high precision GNSS. Septentrio is not the only one that has support for it. It's very faint, but I've put here a few, it's a dedicated jamming session. I've put here a few, like the flagging, both of U-Blocks, a Novatel, a Unicorcom, and of course a Septentrio product, where, as you can see, the red line is basically the interfered or the jammed scenario, and all of these manufacturers have a kind of flagging system. When we go into the spoofing side, that's a bit more tricky, but also everyone that I've mentioned earlier has a kind of spoofing scenario. You can always combine a, at the top, the red is the scenario that we're testing, or a spoofing scenario that we're testing, and then having the jammed and spoofing flags available for dedicated, for the dedicated manufacturers. If you say, I want this, and apparently all of you already have a GNSS system, but if you don't and you want a good system, I've highlighted a few here. There are even a few of the ones that I put on board here, so Arc Electronics, Holibro, M Robotics, but there are many more integrators that integrate our solution into a more user-friendly solution that you guys can use on your platform. If you want to integrate yourself, you can always, of course, come to the manufacturer itself, because we sell our modules or OEM platforms as a to-integrate product. But where does it become important into the PX4 platform is we saw an opportunity to collaborate. We saw an opportunity to commit to certain things. Is we provide this kind of information, but it was not feed through to the PX4 platform. And that's where at the first time, we added a new message. A new MAVLink message is currently being developed where we can highlight a few GNSS-based system errors. So general system errors when we are calculating our own CPU overloads, serial output congestion, these kind of things can be highlighted with our system errors. Of course, the Galileo constellation has a free service for message authentication, so also something that we can highlight, and all of the competitors of ours or just high navigation brands have capabilities of these kind of things. Then the two important ones is the jamming and the spoofing scenarios, and we also added something that Septentrio is leading, but we see a bit more and more coming into play, is where we have a numeric value both for system quality. All of these things weren't yet available. We have the dedicated RTK or GPS RTK message within the MAVLink and PX4 platforms, but we pulled this out as a dedicated one. First of all, because we didn't see a need to try to fix backwards compatibility or incompatibility, how you want to look at it, to just add more stuff to the already existing message. And not every one platform of PX4 can run this. It's not a big message, but it will consume some stuff of memory of your PX4 platform. So this is the order here is a bit weird, but it's reporting on jamming, spoofing, our message authentication, and where we put our system errors. Now, after the message was created, we also, of course, needs to work on the user segment. The user segment is what you see in Q ground control. It's what you see in Mission Planner or in any other kind of user segment that you can work with, is trying to get this in there. We've seen a previous presentation about the EKF. So also there is already some checks happening within the EKF fusion of a GPS or a GNSS-based system, where you can already have through parameters like the EKF GPS checks or any kind of the innovation gating. That is already available, but we wanted to add more information that we provide as a GNSS manufacturer to the platform. And we hope that with this development that we are currently doing, it is a work in progress. It is the MAVLink message is not yet out of the development branch, but we are getting very close to fully merging it. It's been a tricky situation, so I do want to thank all of the collaborators, all of the maintainers, everyone that has worked with this, but in special Victoria, which did all of the development in the name of Septentrio, but next to her, she has received a lot of nice help and work done and all of the things required for us to actually bring this new feature. This is not a Septentrio specific feature. This is a GNSS. This is a generic GNSS manufacturer feature that we try to now bring into the system. For the future development that we can see is now that we have these messages available, now that we brought it to your attention, we want to see, or we want to help develop further the EKF so we can more optimally change or check when to use and when not to use a GNSS-based system. Finally, it has been mentioned, so I will see you guys at FOSDEM or even before FOSDEM. Raymond, thanks for checking it with wife, apparently. But I will see you guys there definitely, and otherwise till the next one.
Let's give it a chance for answer questions. Any questions from the audience? Anastasia, you got the microphone right here. Here you go.
How do you understand that you are currently under attack? Because previously it was like jump of the satellites, relocation, interruption of the signal. Right now it's not on the spot already. So what are parameters that make you understand that you're under attack?
Here I will speak in the name of Septentrio. I will not make any promises on competition receivers. For Septentrio, we do this on a few things. When I'm talking about jamming, this is either very narrow band jamming, so that is targeting one of the many frequencies that we have. We have a full band of GNSS frequencies, and that's where the beauty of GNSS is coming into, is we have not only the single frequency that we work from. Broader from that, but a bit more difficult, is the wideband jamming. This is still just trying to put interference on the signals that we need. On the spoofing side, this is where we do two things. The NMA, so the message authentication, this is just something that's provided by the constellation itself. It's the Galileo constellation provides us with a system. It's a key lock system. They send an encrypted message as part of the signal, and we have a key on our receiver that we can verify if the signal is coming from a trusted source. But next to that, we have, I think, about 2,000 hours, maybe even more at this point, where we built a heuristic flag, where we try to put spoofing scenarios that we've seen in the field, that we do by now on just workshops when we're working with our receivers. What we see from the field is we build this heuristic flag further and try to develop an algorithm internally when we can detect and see a spoofing scenario being made.
Can you turn it off, please? All right. Thank you, Kwinten.